Good evening, beloved mighty companions. In the divine light of being and honesty of God, let's just start by listening inward to the light, for the voice of God So today we are looking at desires from the movie The Shack. Actually, one specific desire today, and that was, what was it, Mary? It was the desire to find
peace through judgment.
Peace through judgment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's just be with that desire and stay with the looking at it. And as usual, I'll just go ahead and read the steps for joining. When you're upset, ask me quickly for help. Let me direct you, whether you're to join with a brother or work with me in each case. When you join with a brother, pray together and ask me to help you. Focus on the light within, the light that you share, the only thing that is real. Ask me specifically what miracles need to be performed. Ask me what my guidance is for you to look at in this joining and share it with your brother. If an upset comes to mind that you would like help with, share it. And we did that. So yes, there is an upset, and it's desire for peace through judgment. So admit you have a desire to feel upset.
I admit I have a desire to experience peace through judgment.
Yeah, I hear that it's like peace is judgment.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken. I'm willing to see that.
All right. Well, willing to see this differently, for sure. So if you feel a desire to experience peace through judgment, then or if you feel peace through judgment, then you desire an experience of peace through judgment. Ask me to show you what is below your level of awareness that is miscreating the experience of sickness. What miracles are needed to clear this misperception of sickness? What desire am I trying to hide from the light beneath this feeling of trying to find peace in judgment? The first thing I heard was, we think that we're gonna get something.
Yeah, I heard something similar. Somehow I think I have the ability to look at whatever circumstances, situations, and judge what's going to be more peaceful and what isn't, and choose. And I have all these amazing abilities to do this.
Well, I keep hearing something I read once that said you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. So in the same respect, you cannot be at peace and in judgment at the same time. Somehow with the gratefulness and anger, it's a little bit easier to see, I think.
Yeah, it's like there's different degrees of peace, different degrees of upset.
Oh, like we imagined that there are?
Yeah, there seems to be like a different degrees
Oh, yeah.
of upset, of peace.
There's like 300 degrees, 375.
And if I judge correctly, I can pick the peaceful one.
So I can get a good pizza out of that, if I keep it at the right temperature. Then I want a piece of pizza, not peace of mind. And that's not that's not everlasting. So yeah. Yeah, we seem to think that something finite can give us something infinite. I don't know. Judgment is finite, peace is infinite.
And that my perception and judgment will discern.
Yeah, there's a belief. So yeah, let's just look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I heard a voice, not sure if it was the Holy Spirit, but it said well, definitely not the Holy Spirit, but it said, through my judgment, I will arrive at peace. Good luck with that one. Yeah. That is. And, you can flip it around. Through my peace, I will arrive at judgment? No. I'm feeling called to do a light test on this. Is there judgment in the light? No. Is the light searching for peace? Does the light have a need to search for peace? No, it's already there. It's not something it has to go foraging for. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I hear like an immediate future, placing peace in the future.
Yeah. I was just seeing in the shack, even when he was in that house and they were making amazing food, and he was obviously being greeted by an old that big friendly black lady that lived down the road from him, that he was still at war in his mind, and there was all this love and all this peace happening, and it was because he thought something happened. He thought that something he thought that something happened that shouldn't have happened.
Are you talking about the death of his daughter? Are you talking about the
Yeah,
child?
I'm talking about the memory that he was holding on to that was weighing him down. Yeah. Which could be symbolized as the tiny mad idea, basically. The idea that the impossible happened and now we must pay for it, that there's like a judgment there.
Yeah, he does have the, like with something happening, he has the memory of an abusive father, and then he in form kills his father.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like this.
Oh wow, yeah, that really is like the tiny mad idea. Yeah, because it's like God had a thought that God could be separate from God. So he removed his father from the equation, so to speak. Oh, judgment. Yeah, I can see how it's directly related now. Peace through judgment. It's like I need to remove this person because they are abusing me. And even though it isn't outright stated, it's almost like doing that was later reflected by the disappearance of his daughter. Like he still felt guilt in his mind about his father. And so the cycle repeated. And it started out based on that story that he was telling about the Native American woman who jumped off the waterfall. Which is interesting because he was like pouring the strychnine into his dad's alcohol, and the waterfall was also coming down. So it's kind of like some sort of downward movement of like out of obligation or guilt or something like that. That's just the ego's nature. Like in order to show us we did something wrong, it has to like kind of remind us of it. And it believes that by doing that, like it's gonna end the cycle, but that doesn't really work.
There's also that scene in the cave where Mac is talking with the woman and judging the murder of his daughter, and the woman in the cave is saying, how do you know that your judgment is accurate? And then choose between which of your remaining children is going to live or die. Who can judge such things? So how do you think you're going to find peace in judging this killer?
Yeah. Because he didn't want anybody to be in the mind state of not at peace. And so he said, okay, take me. I'll be the one not at peace, you know. But he already was, so he was kind of just confessing to the truth of where he already was with it.
Can you state the desire again?
desire for peace through judgment.
Yeah, he was able to see out of that interaction in the cave that there was no peace. He was incapable of judging.
Yeah.
Remember, she showed him pictures on the wall, supposedly, of how his father was treated as a child.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that just reminds me that if we ever had the full picture of everyone's life, we would not be capable of judging. We would let God be the judge. And God doesn't judge. Yeah.
But it's such a play in consciousness. I can see it. To think that I have the ability to choose between various variables or whatever, and I can choose peace and do it by judging. It's such a
Yeah.
big consciousness.
Wow. Yeah. Well, he believed that God wasn't doing his job correctly and that he could do a better job than God. And that's kind of the nature of the ego, isn't it? It's just always thinking that it can do a better job than God.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm being directed to go to number 5. Remind you not to look upon the error and make it real. This is a denial of yourself. Look not at the experience. Join with me to look directly at the desire below the experience. So what is below our current level of awareness that we would desire an experience of peace through judgment? I heard a funny word, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it's like a play of judgment seeming natural and essential. Essential is what I hear to peace. Like this demand that there can be no peace without it.
Without judgment.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, probably because the nature. Well, let's see. Let's just ask Jesus. Is it because the nature of the ego is judgment? Yeah. Yeah, I just heard God does not know judgment. And then the ego tries to be that non-judgment and then judges itself because it can't. Because all it does is judge. All it does is compare. So it's like the spiritual ego tries to be in non-judgment, but it can't do it without grace. So let's just see if we can get in touch with the relishing for the original desire, the desire for peace through judgment. Help us get in touch with the relishing of that. Yeah, I can see that there's something there that really, really wants to justify that judgment is necessary.
Mhm. Weigh all the different decisions.
Yeah.
Seems to be, it's definitely heavy.
Yeah.
It's
Right
like,
now it feels like holding.
like burying myself in thought.
Yeah.
It's like that's peace. Uh, it's like associating that with rest and peace and happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Well, uh, this was just brought to my attention, that oh wait, one sec. My apologies. I had to plug my phone in. It was dying. It's almost like, okay, so when he got that letter in the mail, it was kind of like, I'm going on a mission to redeem myself by through justice, through like the ego's idea of justice, because he brought his gun with him up there and was, in a fearful state, like kind of ready to like take down the killer, and like justice would be served, and in that way kind of like maybe reinvent himself. I'm the guy who had a tragic thing happen, but now I've taken care of business, and so it's behind me. But that's like peace through judgment again. So it's like a repeating theme.
Yeah, definitely. That theme, that desire is repeated.
Yeah. Well, I think there's just more relishing to get in touch with here.
Yeah, it was like what I'm hearing is there was also a curiosity. He was starting to open up to the possibility that he could be wrong about it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is true.
He just was still kind of feeling like he had to do it on his own because he left his friend behind. He just kind of,
Yeah.
he just took the truck and,
Man on a mission.
was trying to do it on his own. And so you could
Yeah.
see how, yeah.
Oh yeah, that really symbolizes that. Yeah. Yeah. It was like a goal oriented kind of thing. Because initially it was going to be, a fishing trip with a friend, and yeah.
I'm reminded of that scene where he's in the boat and the memory comes back and the black stuff starts to consume the boat, and it's like it seems real until he reaches out, until he's humbled enough to be like, oh my gosh, my brother, like, help me. Yeah. And of course that's similar to the parallel of Jesus and saying be still, and walking out on the waves and during the storm. So some parallels there. But I love that beautiful scene where everything becomes idyllic and he just the boat returns to just being a normal boat on this beautiful lake, and they just walk together on the water back to the shore. It's such a beautiful symbolism there. Returning to your holy mind.
Speed of correction too, definitely.
Yeah, it's like that. It's instant. Yeah.
Speed of correction.
Yeah. Go straight to God. Boom. There we are. Yeah. And then that other scene where he tries to do it and it doesn't, and then he's like, well, it usually works best if we do it together. That Armenian looking guy says, or no, not Armenian, but Middle Eastern looking guy.
His idea of Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, it was his idea of Jesus. Yeah. That's a beautiful way to put it. I really love how each character in the house was God, just represented through a different aspect. And it was very non-traditional. And then the lady changed into a Native American man too. I thought that was really interesting how that happened. And in that scene, how he came to terms with the forgiveness and how it wasn't really his fault what happened, how he was innocent.
And it seemed like he was able to bring to closure, or with the help of Holy Spirit, to bring to closure his attachment to his daughter with the burial and then in the garden and so forth.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they dug that hole and he didn't know what it was going to be for. And then it ended up being something that we wouldn't consider to be beautiful, but it actually was really beautiful. It was easy to see how in that world everything was a symbol. It was like it's such a pure expression of life in that realm that he was in.
Yeah, very gentle. It was all very gentle. Reinterpretation.
Yeah, it was designed just for him to heal the mind. Yeah. And from there it becomes easier to see, oh, that's what this is too. Okay. Then there's something that lightens up about that too. So.
God has a sense of humor. Jesus, God, Holy Spirit.
How sure the ego is that through judgment, it's going to find peace by making the better choice.
Oh yeah. As long as choice seems to exist, that dilemma is going to present itself. Yeah. Well, good thing purpose is the only choice.
What was that?
Oh, it said good thing purpose is the only choice.
Uh-huh.
But when we are caught in the story, it sure does seem like there's this choice and then, or this one. Do I choose love or fear? Yeah. Well, and I'm reminded of the joining from the other day where Kay was saying that accepting an emotion doesn't release it. And I was seeing how, once again, that scene on the boat, it wasn't by the accepting of the emotions he was feeling, because that's actually like a form of resistance, but it was that willingness to say, oh, okay, there's something I don't understand that's going on here. I do not know what anything is for. And then whoosh, and there's like an opening there. So yeah, when the ego is insistent that it knows what things are for, then it becomes a very scary kind of story on top of what's happening. But it's more than just a story. It's like the mind projects the whole thing. Yeah.
Mac went through a lot of desires.
Yeah. I'm reminded of that scene where after he decided that he is not fit to be the judge, that he sees his daughter through the water. And I noticed that even in that scene, there's an acceptance coming from him that she's safe and that it's okay that he can't, touch her and hold her and talk to her. But she feels his presence anyway, because all minds are joined. So, yeah. And that scene with his dad, too. Yeah, there's so much incredible symbolism in that film.
Yeah, beautiful healing of the mind.
Yeah. Also, the choice he had to stay there or go back. And he's like, well, I'm going to end up back here anyway. So I'm end up where I never left. And I think that the truck accident kind of is just there as a way of, well, it's just God's way of being like, you need to remember that your life is precious and your family is precious, and you're, because it was just sort of like there was like a sort of taking for granted kind of thing going on.
It was what, Elliot?
There was just like a taking for granted thing going on. But once he was able to see the truth about his daughter, then he was able to restore the relationship with his other children and his wife. So that's a beautiful symbolism too of just how we're all joined. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never too late. Never too late.
Yeah,
Infinite patience. Yeah.
seeing, and however many times it takes, but just being committed to seeing that judgment is impossible. And just staying with it, staying with Jesus, Holy Spirit, whatever symbols we're being given to go deep and go all the way to everything that we need to see, to clear it completely out of the subconscious.
Yeah.
So that there won't be any more, we won't experience that anymore. It can't happen if we don't have that desire.
Yeah.
Just keep looking.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go ahead and ask if it's time to receive a miracle on this one. Or if there's more.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like judgment is my salvation. If I can judge, then, evaluate and analyze and judge, then I'm safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard we forgot to laugh. Just like Mac, he forgot to laugh. And as a result, his relationship with his children in just his own mind, really, because there's no one there, just him. Because he forgot to laugh, that he had to go through all those unnecessary experiences, because it really wasn't, none of it was really necessary. If he would have just said, Jesus, I am holding on to a grievance about this man, and I really want forgiveness. I want to give forgiveness, but I know that that's not my place. And that only you can really do that. And trust that he would guide the way. Then he probably wouldn't have had to go through, getting hit by a truck and all this other kind of stuff. That's all play. It's all play of consciousness. And of course, it's not a judgment. It's totally innocent, but it was his resistance to joining that kind of led him down that path. Because I feel like everything that happened, those were all truths. If we look at it as things happening in his mind, those things were all truths that he already knew deep down. Yeah. So but it's okay, because either way we're safe in God, either way. So and of course, whatever experiences we're led to are here to show us if we listen.
Yeah, it can be very gentle.
Yeah. Choose, many are called, or all are called, few choose to listen. So we're just choosing to listen. That's what's happening. Yeah. And of course, it doesn't really matter ultimately because all minds are joined once again. But luckily, there's mighty companions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jesus, are we holding or releasing with this desire?
I I hear release.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, as it feels less like a mission and more like just sharing. Yeah, something got way lighter. I've just been staying with the relishing. Yeah.
Yep.
Mind wanders a little bit and then come back to the relishing.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel something lightening up though, for sure. It's like the story of judgment being needed for peace is like receding into the background. It's like getting smaller and smaller. Hey, I'm actually able to see it's a story now. I wasn't even able to see it was a story before. So, yeah. What I'm hearing is to just we'll just stay with the relishing. And how much more time do we have here?
Actually, the alarm just went off.
Perfect. Yeah. That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels complete here for now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels complete here too.
And
Yeah.
it does, I hear that there's more for me to see and look at. So I'm going to continue.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah.
That just in staying with the lookings, things will be. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
Beloved
you.
mighty companions. Blessings.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll
Renee?
see. Yeah, we could say that tomorrow night we're having our last movie.
Oh. Yeah, I did finally get a notice out. I was thinking today that Kay was going to write a description, and she thought.
Oh, we're still we're live. So.
Oh, we are.
Yep.
It's not. Is it still being recorded?
Yeah.
Oh,
everything
okay.
is until you end it. So.
Okay. Okay. So when I ended it before, that didn't end it for everybody?
No.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. It's still going. So I was just gonna say we could announce what's coming up and.
Okay.
All righty.